Hey folks, how you doing? So, I finally got my hands on a Hilleberg. So Hilleberg are probably the best tent maker in the world, and their prices certainly do match that. But you get what you pay for. And what you get is an absolute fortress of a tent. So the way Hilleberg measure their tents, from black label, red label and yellow label. So the black label, most expensive, then I suppose the strongest build quality. Then you go to the red label, and the red label is just slightly below that in cost, weight and performance. I don't know that yet, I'd love to see the difference. But then you have a yellow label, which is more the Three Seasons, lightweight kind of summer versions of their tents. So this is the Hilleberg Soulo 1 red label. This series of tent only comes in two. It comes in black and it comes in red. So this is the red one. I'm not calling this a review, not a first impressions either, because I've had this tent out already just once. I've pitched it twice. So we'll call it a preview, or look, let's just go through the features of it, see what you think. But so far, I'm really enjoying this. Okay, let's check what's in the bag. As you can see, it's a fairly big bag. I have some damage already. So my last video, I showed this. I went out in this in the burn a few weeks ago, but left the headlamp on inside the tent, and it actually burnt a hole through it. What an idiot, I know. But luckily, it didn't damage the tent. So, let's open it up. We'll go through this in a minute. Let's just see outer. These are the pegs you get. Just light aluminium pegs with a good cord on them. You get 13 of them. More damage. It actually burnt through 2 bags, but it didn't burn through the tent, which these actually saved it. Okay, so these are 9mm poles. You get 3 of them. The red one is the shortest. So we'll go through them in a minute. They're DAC 9mm poles. Everything is out of this bag, but yet there is still one in it. So inside in the bag you get a separate pouch, and that separate pouch has this in it, which is a repair kit with instructions on it. So you get this pole, and you get a kind of a wider pole that will go over, I presume, the broken part. But it's good that you get that, and they keep it absolutely separately in here, which is a really good feature. This is the outer. You can see it's the dark forest green. You can get this in a khaki brown colour as well, which, being honest, I'd nearly prefer. So the sleeves are colour coded. Best way to do this is, let's put it up and I'll show you how it works. This is a dome tent, and it's a freestanding tent. What you can do, and which I am going to do because I haven't yet, is I'm going to peg it out before I put the poles on. I'd always recommend having the door fully closed before you actually put the tent up, just to get the right tension. They say if it was really bad conditions, the best thing to do is peg it out first. So that's what we're going to do. What do you do? It's the life of a dog, isn't it? Okay. Just one on the other side. See how this works. I can always adjust it to suit, but what I've noticed with this tent so far, it's a very, very easy tent to put up. Okay. Now let's get the poles on. They do recommend that you do the red first, and the red will correspond with, you see here, it has the red on both sides. So this is the shortest pole. They say to do this one first. One thing I do like about the sleeves, they're over a foot long and they're really strong. So there. The other side. Okay. So let's put these on. It's as simple as that. The last one. Then what you do is you clip. I usually do 2 at a time, just to get equal tension everywhere. Let's keep going then. Last 2 is up here. So there it is. Okay, so it's time to start guy lining it out, right? So there's 2 on each corner, this one and this one. They both go into the same peg, right? The difference is You have this one here, which is absolutely fine, but then you have a longer one here. And what they say you do with this one is you actually wrap it around the pole, then tie it, so it's holding it in place. I don't know about that. Maybe tell me if I'm right or wrong, but I did see a few people doing it this way. Anyway, look, let's do it this way first, and we can come back to it. Guy lined up. The last piece of the puzzle is the roof fly, which just goes straight over and you tie it down here. But before I do, you'll see here, this can be opened up fully to the inside of the tent, and it can be open from both sides. So it's very handy if you're running cables in there for some reason, or you're cooking inside in the vestibule. So that's that, and this covers it. So you pull it all the way over, and there's actually hook points down here that they go onto, just like that. And then the same over here. There's the tension strap here that you can loosen off just to get it on. No, that's not going anywhere. Okay, so the tent is up. I just want to go through some of the features on the outside. But the one thing they do say, because this is a freestanding tent, that it already has the shape that it needs. You don't actually use the guy lines to put it into shape. You're literally using the guy lines to hold the freestanding tent in place. So the outer fly, you can see, it's the forest green. It comes in several colours. Personally, I would nearly prefer the khaki colour, but the green is actually really, really cool as well. The outer fly is a Curlin 1200 fly 30D ripstop and coated with 3 layers of silicone, and it's also treated with UV resistance. It has a tear strength of 26.5 pounds. It is so strong, and it's 5,000 millimeter hydrostatic head. There is nothing getting through that. The guy lines are also high quality. They can take up to 132 pounds of braking strength. Here you have YKK zips with a heavy duty rubber that goes on the outside. This does not make noise when the wind hits it. That's a good feature to have. So you have DAC 9mm aluminium poles. Then you have the sleeves, but what they also did is the same material that they have here over the YKK zips, they put that same material down here. So the very end of your pole sleeve, you have a very strong material that will hold it in place. It just shows the build quality again. I really do like that buckle system. You have a lot of doors when you tighten them up, they actually don't stay open, but that is such a tight and very good clasp. It really does work. And you have a second one up here. So this is the inside of the Soulo with the 2 inner doors fully open. I also have the footprint here, and it goes and always stays attached, which I really like. The beauty about having both doors fully open, it gives you a lot of space to sit here. And also you have a feature where you can unclamp this, so you can create a lot more space because it's an outer pitch first. I normally just leave it attached at all times, but if I'm sitting inside in here cooking or doing whatever, I can very easily unclasp it here and on this side, here and here, and push that inner all the way back. It's such a good feature to have, and I like how easy these clamps actually work. They simply one-handed can go in. A lot of tents that I have, it's a nightmare to unclip these, but that is so easy. I really like it. The bathtub design comes up at about 120 millimeters. Then you have 70D ripstop material. It's triple polyurethane coated, and it's a 15,000 millimeter hydrostatic head, so there's nothing getting through that. The inner itself is a 30D ripstop with a durable water repellent on all of that, and I really do like the yellow colour on the inside. Not only do you get the build quality of it, you actually get the tent maker's name attached to the tent that they build. That just shows the quality and training that goes in to the likes of this tent. So on the inside, let's have a quick look. So you get 2 pockets, one here and one here, and they're the only two pockets that you do get in the tent. You have your instructions down here, which I usually cut off to save some bit of weight. You have strap points here, strap points there, and equally all the way around, where you can literally put a guy line there to hang up clothes if you actually want. Let's get some measurements. So the head height is quite good. What you want to go on? Inches, millimeters, centimeters, feet? Okay, let's go with feet, right? You have 3 foot 1 inch for the headspace. Let's go with the width. 3 foot 3 inches. So the length of it, you're talking 7.3 feet. The gable ends, we'll say, 2.4 feet. And on the other side, it should be the same, is 2 foot on the button. So there are differences. Okay, let's close it up. You see here where the 2 zips meet, it has a triangle, kind of like a rubberized material that blocks anything from coming in there. Very, very good. And it's a 2-way zip, which is always important. What you also get is here. You have a strap that goes over and a hook just to hold that in place on both ends. And here is the lovely mesh that you have. There's nothing, no insects or flies are going to be getting through this, but it's a nice feature to have, especially if you were using this in the summer. You do have the option of having this open all night to leave a nice airflow in. I really like that. So, what do you think? The train likes it. I absolutely adore this tent. I had it out once, and luckily, I didn't burn through the tent with that bloody headlamp that I have. It's an excellent headlamp, but it was my mistake. I left it on, but I don't think we should ever be in a position where anything that we use gets that hot and can cause damage. But I'll link that video there. You can have a quick look at it. I don't go into much detail about it because I only found it the next morning. This is, I suppose, a very specialized tent for what I feel is very specific times that you would be bringing it out. So if I knew the weather was going to be really bad, well, this is 100% the tent that I am going to be bringing out. Where it excels with the strength, it does give up on weight. This is a trail weight of 2.4 kilograms, which is very, very heavy. For me, it's very, very heavy because I have some tents that are 800 grams and 900 grams, and I love them. But the confidence that this tent actually gives you when you're on the trail, you can rest assured that you're in a safe place if there's wind or a storm picks up. You really, really are. 2.4 kilograms, I suppose it is manageable enough that you're not going to hate your life on the trail with so much weight that you're pulling along. If I knew the weather was going to be good, I don't think this is a tent I would be bringing out, even though it's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. I'll bring it out for specific times. Like, it's an absolute tank. It's so well built. And I understand, oh, it's heavier, but you can see where the weight comes from with the quality of the material that it uses. I always thought, okay, I'll buy it. If I don't like it, I'll get rid of it. I think it's something I'm going to keep for a long time because this would be my winter tent always. Do you have one of these? Is there anything that I have done wrong putting this up? Is there anything that you would recommend I do differently? So constructive criticism, always welcome. But yeah, happy days. So this is the Hilleberg Soulo Red Label, my first ever Hilleberg tent, and I'm loving it so far. So thanks very much for watching. I'll talk to you in the next one. Stay safe out there. Bye.